Today I'm going to show you how to paint a very easy, wintry watercolour landscape where you'll learn a variety of techniques along the way. So let's get the brushes wet and let's get started. Got some colour mixed up, and all this is French ultramarine and a little bit of burnt umber. Let's grab some alizarin crimson. That can go into that well there. Don't need a great deal of this. With a tiny amount of mauve. There you go. Look at that. What a lovely colour that is. Okay, clean water and wet the background. Now I've got this paper taped down as well using transparent tape. Wet the background probably 2 or 3 times, allowing the water to soak into the paper each time. Going to grab a size 8 brush and then start to apply the colour. A bit more there, look. Plenty on the brush. To the wet paper there. Right, here we go. This is just for the background, for the sky. That's all I want to do here. And add it probably until about halfway down. It's going to gradually get lighter to the halfway point. A little bit of our red in there. Oh, look at that. Oh, yeah. Now we can thicken this slightly as well. Make sure your horizon is nice and level. Just blend it out to the white of the paper down below. Thicken this a little bit more now. So French ultramarine and burnt umber. I'm going to add this in again to the very top. And you can vary this as well as much as you want to. A touch more French ultramarine maybe. Just in places, just so it's a little bit different. Gradually getting lighter, the lower down it goes, remember. Blend that one in. So you can't see where one colour starts and the other colour finishes there. Slightly brighter towards the top corner there though. Yeah, that's it. Going to grab a little bit of salt. This is just table salt, but you can use sea salt as well. And very lightly sprinkle it onto the paper. You don't need too much of it. That should be plenty. Let that soak in, leave it there for a little while, okay? While that's drying, let's carry on down the bottom now, doing the same thing. So clean water, re-dampen if you need to. So, this area here can be gently blended out a little bit more. So our pinky red colour, just a hint of that just down there. Not much. You can see you don't need a great deal of this. Just to tint the paper, that's all I'm doing. Slightly stronger there, maybe a little bit more there as well. And that should blend together nicely. Then very lightly tidy up those edges with a little bit of kitchen towel. Okay, I'm going to get a smaller brush. Now it's nearly dry, not quite, but nearly dry. Smaller brush. This is a size 6. This is simply watercolour white or opaque white. We can use white gouache instead as well. So white paint, anything like that will do. And using something to kind of lean on, another brush, very lightly tap over the top. I want this to soak in and blend slightly, which is why I've not completely dried the paper. Just for the very top areas there, look. And this will give more of a sort of diffused feel to it at the same time. Just keep towards the top area though, probably the top quarter or the top third. Anywhere like that will do. The bigger the brush, the bigger the splatters. And it also depends on how much you put on that brush as well. So if you really kind of load it like that, then you find the splatter marks to be much, much bigger as well, which they are. And this is really fun to do. You see the way it's blending together in there? Kind of mixing with the salt as well that's on the paper. Once it's completely dry, we'll brush the salt off, then start working on some basic details, okay? Okay, let's take all that salt off. Obviously it's nice and dry. Let's paint some basic mountains. Here we go. Very watery. Remember French ultramarine. A little bit of burnt umber in there. Now thicken this down with every layer that we use. Let's start off probably around here. Doesn't really matter where. And bring in a basic mountain shape. Make sure you've got plenty of paint on the brush. So basic mountain shape. A few little bubbles here and there. Dips and valleys. Then go slightly higher towards the other side. You can mix in that white paint if you want to. Don't reload that brush now though. What you need to do, bring this all the way down like that. That'll do, something like that. Damp clean brush and soften down the edge. Oh, and also don't forget what you can do is drop in other colours in there as well. Maybe a touch more brown here and there, just to kind of vary the colour a touch more. Now do the same again for the next layer, but this time I'm going to thicken that paint down just a touch more. So let's just go with this one next, okay? So slightly warmer. Here we go. Load that brush up. Don't take too much off the brush ball. Start over that side again, doesn't really matter where. And I might leave it slightly fainter down the bottom there, you know. So we've got more of a sort of misty feel to it. And just kind of rough it out, work out roughly where you want things to go. I might just go back uphill around there. Yeah, why not? And again, start to blend it out at the bottom here. Don't make it too wide. You don't need to in this case. Clean damp brush. Give it a light blending like we've just done before. Kind of make this up as you go along. That's all I'm doing here. So it gets lighter and paler. You can lift a little bit of paint off if you want to as well. And you can drop a touch more colour in there to warm it up. Doesn't really matter what colours you use. A bit of green if you want to kind of green it up a little bit more. Okay, one more time, give it a dry. Okay, it's nice and dry again. Once again, thicken your paint down just a little bit more. And this time a touch more burnt umber in there as well. Yeah. I'm going to start probably around here. Probably slightly higher. Yeah, probably there. Then start to bring it down again. And on sort of a finish line, maybe around, bit of a bump there, yeah. Maybe around here. It's a fine line. You're walking on the fine line, you are, lad. And then bring it back up again. A bit more paint pull. That's it, that's better. And then we can bring that down very lightly and form more of a sort of horizontal line. This will be the horizon. And try and get it sort of levelish. Grab some more burnt umber. Drop that in. Just in places. To vary the colours slightly. The same on the other side. And the good thing about this, you can take most of the paint off the brush. In fact, give it a good old dry. So it's nearly dry like that. And you can lift off just a little bit of paint here and there. To add some very distant details. And as it dries, you can add a little bit more paint over the top again in places. So you can fine tune this as much as you want to, you really can. You can even put a suggestion of trees right in the far distance there. Just a few little lines here and there. Doesn't really matter what it is, just vary the height of those lines. Okay, it's nice and dry, and this is where we can have just a basic go at some water effects. That's all we want to do, nothing flash, nothing too serious. A bit more of the French ultramarine in there. In fact, I'm going to grab some of this, you know, and put it in that one now and water that down. I don't want it too thick. And then get my pipette, got plenty of water in there. Touch a mauve again. Yeah, just inside there, like, just to warm it slightly. I'm going to use that for some basic ideas for water. Now, water is always horizontal, isn't it? So remember that when you're painting water. And that's probably going to go over towards maybe here. We'll have a bit of land down there as well. So basic indication of some wet areas. Like that. Don't overdo it. Take your time with it. There's no rush. Now the thing is, we've got the landscape behind this, so we need to reflect that within the water. So I'm just going to put a bit more around there a minute. Then grab some of this colour, which I've been using for the background, and drop some of that in there as well. Maybe a touch more brown in it. Just to vary it slightly like that. Just into the damp lines we've already got there. And that then reflects the mountains and the hills we can see within the background there. And we can fine tune all of this very shortly. Then this side, let's have a little bit of landscape there, shall we? So we'll go back to this colour again. And we'll paint a basic bank going down the side here. All the way down and across the painting. Probably to about there. Yeah, why not? And I want to fade this out as well. So a bit of water in there. Fade it out, leaving gaps in between as well. That's all we're looking for, nothing detailed. And something like that there. Yeah. Then blend some of these areas out, leaving gaps in between, of course. Then all you need to do is give it a quick dry, and we can start adding some details over the top of that. Okay, using our thicker colour, load up your brush, whatever size you're using at the moment. I'm still working with my size 6 here, but you can go for a smaller size if you want to. Then you can start to create some basic sort of foliage around here, grasses, bushes, anything like that to kind of vary and break up this area. This could be rocks, could be all sorts of things you could do with this now. You're giving yourself basically a basic canvas for something you can work on the top of. So slightly kind of rough area around there. We'll highlight this as well as we go along. Then flick up to get these tapered lines. Make them different lengths as well, so you can really vary how long they are. See what I mean? Let's lengthen these as well around there, shall we, at the same time. You know, these could be anything. They could be just grass, anything like that. Reeds, bulrushes, you name it. It's entirely up to you. This is where you want to thicken down that paint a little bit more as well. I mean, at the moment it's more of a sort of milky consistency. I now want it creamy. So I'm going to thicken that very shortly. Just add in the same pigments again, but less water. Okay, switching to a size 2 brush now. It's a little bit smaller, so you've got a bit more control as well. So you're going to load it, you're going to roll it, you're going to pull away. If you want to give it a tap once or twice like that, just to take in residual paint off that brush before you go to the painting. At least then, you're not going to overload it too much. This is where you can get some more contrast on the go now. So you can add some contrast into these areas here. Whatever it might be, could be rocks as I mentioned, a little bit of gravel. You can really kind of vary what you want on there. Just play with the idea as you go along and see where it takes you. That's all I do, you know. Have fun with it. I'm even down to using a dry brush as well to add extra texture to the surface. Okay, small amounts of olive green and a touch more of the burnt umber, just in there. This is going to add a touch of colour to the foreground. Now I don't want this to be a wintry feel, so we don't want too much colour within it. Okay, so don't make it too colourful. But you can use a little bit of this green just to highlight anything that's closer to you. Just a touch of colour here and there. To warm it more towards the foreground now. As I mentioned, this is a very easy, very basic looking painting. But it's something you can play with. Just gives you a chance to have a play with what colours you got left over from a previous project. Now then, here we go. Trees. Let's water that one down. Let's go for a thinner version of that. Then what I want to do is work out roughly where I can have a bit of a tree going in. So, this side actually, we'll go on that side. Let's commit ourselves and put a line there first of all. Okay. Doesn't have to be a fir tree or anything like that. It can be whatever tree you want it to be. I'm just going to put a basic suggestion of a tree here. Like that. It gets thicker and wider. It comes down here. Like that. And then move my body around. Just painting some basic branches, some outriggers here and there, going away. Now these are quite light at the moment. I'm going to thicken these down a little bit more. I always taper the line out. So think about the way the tree grows. It's going to grow from the base up. So it'll be thicker at the base and get slimmer as it goes higher up. That's how I look as well, actually, saying that. Just be quite rough with this as well. Keep a nice light hand though. But don't make it too neat. Like that look. This is just for that kind of thinner version of this paint. There you go, that's better. And then do the other side as well. Just adds a little bit more interest to a painting, doesn't it? Having a tree in there. Then go for the thicker version and do the same thing again. I'm going to darken on the left hand side. That tree, there we go. So it's going to be darker on the left, bringing that down towards the base. You can take most of that paint off, then very lightly stipple it. So it gets lighter as it works its way around that trunk. Then you can start to add in a few more details, but I'm going to switch to my size 2 and do that with this one. Make sure it's not too wet. So we're going to darken down, remember, the left hand side of the trunk. Like that. And start to bring out a few little branches here and there, or twigs, anything like that will do, to widen and thicken so they all vary as well. I'm going to highlight these very shortly as well. Remember, it's sort of a winter feel. So because of that, we don't want any leaves on that tree. No, not in this case. It's going to be leafless. Now then, white paint. There we go, that's the one in question. Bit of water, bit of white paint. Turn around that way, so you can see what I'm doing here. Look. Lower that brush up so it's nice and creamy. Nice and creamy. So it's nearly fixed, so it's nearly unpaintable. If you have it too thick, you can't paint much with it, can you? You can use that initially to add a few little sort of reflections within the water, within this darker area here. Very lightly, barely touching the paper, so 2 hairs and air. That's it, I know. That's all I'm using, very lightly. The same on the other side as well. Just disappearing underneath that tree. I can use that for any areas where you just want to highlight a touch more. Just add a few little sparkles here and there along the water. There you go. This has a touch more movement and life to that water as well. And then do the same for the grass now, just by highlighting certain areas. Within here, nothing much. Nothing much. Give it a tap if it's too much. Just here and there. Just a touch of extra detail using white. I know not everybody likes to use white paint, but I love using white paint because it can really bring a painting together. It really can. I can use the white to go down the right hand side of this tree, just to highlight it like so. This is the side the light is hitting it, isn't it? Just on that side there. Bringing a few little marks in towards the middle, so it still goes darker on the other side. And the same on this side as well. Imagine something like snow hitting it as well. So if you've got a wind blowing from this direction here, kind of hitting the tree, that could be snow that's stuck to the side of the tree. It could be all sorts of ideas. It could be anything, couldn't it? It really could. It could be that, or it could just simply be the light hitting that tree as well. I like the idea of snow lying on the top of the branch like this, though. Just stippling and tapping all the way along. Where's my white? It went to the wrong place then. Just along the top of the branches here and there. Look at that, it's actually nearly falling off there as well. Bit of snow on that branch. Remember, it's a winter scene. Now, one last thing we need to do is splatter. Remember we did that earlier on? I'm going to use my smaller brush for splattering with and the back end of another brush. Make this more to a milky consistency. If it doesn't work this way, you can also use your finger and splatter it like that as well. It gets a bit messy on the finger, but it works a treat, it really does. Okay, here we go. Let's get snowy now, shall we? And this is keeping the snowflakes very small indeed. Like that. Look at that. Oh, that's a big one. Carefully remove the tape, pulling away from the painting. It's that way, if it does tear the paper, it should tear away. Now that'll give you some ideas on how to work on a very basic landscape using a limited palette of colours as well. Have a look at the top right hand corner of the screen. I've got something else you might want to watch as well, all about a simple painting using watercolours. I'll see you there.